I'll help you if you need it.
We are
Don't be a smart
Just getting ready for that
ass.
chair.
Okey doke. I'm gonna call this meeting to order. Recording and taping notification as required by the town, by law, the town may audio or video record this meeting. Any person intending to either audio or video record this open session is required to inform the chair. Anybody recording? Okay, we're good. We're going to go right to Cape Cod Community Rowing. Whoever the spokesman is, please. And introduce yourself, please, if you want to
pull a chair up.
Sure. My name is Charlene Sones, and we brought a crew, as you can see. Barb Howard.
Crew? No pun
Yes, exactly. Barb Howard has been our liaison with you all for years.
Yep.
Susan Sazier, who lives on the pond and really manages our adult programming. She is going to be your liaison moving forward. We wanted to make that one person so you don't have multiple voices. And of course, Alan McLennan, who is our most senior rower and master of all, rows the head of the Charleston. So first of all, and I'm the board chair. I also live on the pond, and I just, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to
Yeah, it's recording. Yeah.
press. Don't forget to press record.
I didn't even hear it come in.
We first of all want to say thank you. You all have been wonderful to work with through the years. There's different iterations of our program, but Eric has been fantastic, and we are grateful to be able to have a program here in Harwich for people. And you'll notice our name is a little different these days. We wanted to change the name to reflect who we really are, which is focused right here in Harwich. We used to have another location at Waquaket, and we are right here in Harwich. Most of us are from Harwich, and we're an all-volunteer program, and we operate, it's truly multi-generational. We have everyone from our most mature rowers to teenagers, and over the course of the past couple of years, we've done a lot to really we've been very specific. We have a small, again, all volunteer, small board, and what we've done is said, what we want to bring really a first-class operation as best as we can. We have processes put in place. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, so we've spent a lot of time to get financials and a treasurer and get all of that in real order, along with safety protocols. Really getting processes. We have a safety committee that reports into the board and makes sure that everybody's doing what we need to do. So that has been really our main focus for the past couple of years. We've gone from, I think in about 2015, we now have about roughly 50 adults that come through and row over the course of the year, and about 100 kids. And that fluctuates based on the season. We offer a competitive program for kids in the spring and fall, and then a whole bunch of clinics in the summer. We have a new board member who comes from Middlesex School in Concord, where she's the head coach there, and she's been a former national team coach, and she's been fantastic in helping us form our programs. We are growing. We are, despite the fact that we have the membership, our core membership is really about 20 core adults, 20 to 30, give or take, in the season. And so we are focused on safe equipment, safety on the water. We also collaborate with a variety of other organizations here on the Cape. We do a Learn to Row program for people who've been impacted by cancer in the summer, and that is with Cape Wellness Collaborative. And we're very fortunate to do a partnership with Harwich Conservation Trust, and they are really gracious. They store our boats over the winter. So that's kind of an overview, and we're thrilled to be able to bring a program like this to the pond. We are very much about safety. We just, through our local donors and our members, we raised money for a safety launch, which will enable us to get more people. If for example, a shell with 8 people were to take on water, which is kind of common for rowing. Someone like me, I'm gonna swim as much as I'm gonna row, potentially. You know, I'm a novice, intermediate type rower. But we're prepared that it's a normal thing to capsize. We have patterns for rowing all along the shore. We try to, we go out in pairs. Nobody goes out on their own. We have logs, so we know when people are coming and going. And now we have this safety launch that will enable us to row up, to bring a boat out that's not a John boat, that someone who might not be 16 anymore or 18 has the chance to get easily onto a boat into safety if they need it, and where we can really respond to emergencies and get more. We could take a whole crew of 8 people and get them onto this boat. So that's what we are.
Are you here just to give us a yearly update?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, we were. I believe we were invited to come and say hello and comment.
Okay,
And
great.
I just want to tell you, we're thrilled to have the beach, and we take it very seriously. Our members do our very best. We clean up in areas where we're not even. We get to the beach. We see a fire has been a bonfire. We clean it up. We remove the nails. We're very conscious of the fact that we're there out of your graciousness, and so
Great. Let me see if there are any questions. Leah?
I do actually have a question. I love everything you said. That's amazing. Do you see anything in the future, say 1 year, 2 year, 3, 4, that you may feel like you are going to come to us about, just so we know, like, hey, down the line we might see them again for something? Do you guys have any kind of long-term ideas or anything?
No, I mean, so we always think about growth, and
Yep.
frankly, we look at growth as how do we put people in bigger boats. So during COVID, for example, we all normally rowed in boats with 4 people or 8 people. When COVID hit, everybody went to singles. So now our goal is, well, that's great, but everybody wants the flat water. The water skiers want the flat water. Everybody wants that nice, calm moment early in the morning. But we're trying to encourage our rowers, okay, we're going to get back in bigger boats. That's the way we will grow, is to get people back in those. At this point, we understand the footprint that we have. We're not looking, we're trying to be conscientious of that.
Great.
Not trying, we are conscientious of that.
Of
So
course.
we don't have plans to expand beyond where we're at for the time being. Is there a potential that it could grow exponentially? It could, and that would be okay. Well, we'll figure that out. But we're still small, and I don't expect that is going to dramatically change over the next couple of years.
Jay? No, that was it. Thank you.
Big is not always better.
Yeah.
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 I think you did a nice job, very, very nice, very comprehensive report. And follow up what Leah said. Do you have any needs currently that we should consider?
No. Yeah.
So, I'm still new to the club.
Please
so
introduce
if
yourself.
I'm
for the-
sorry. I'm Susan Sager, also of Harwich. So I'm relatively new to the club and new to the sport of rowing, but the one eyesore that I see every morning is our trailer, because we don't have a boathouse. You go to the Schuylkill River, you go to the Charles River, there's a boathouse. So we brought Ellen along because years ago, there was talk about a small area that we could put kind of the equivalent of a shed, not a mansion there, but something that you can enclose the boat so we don't have to take them on and off the beach. So if I had one wish and I won the lottery today, I would, come to all the committees and say, we'd love to put a boathouse there.
And you'd have to go through a lot of committees to get that one passed.
I know, but if it's a good thing for the kids, if it's a good thing for the community. I mean, we had a gentleman last year start with us, and how old is John A? He's probably
Late seventies.
late 70s. First time rowing with us. I mean, it's remarkable. He's out there alone. He wants to race this year. I mean, so we're helping not just, you know, the high school kids and the middle school kids from across the Cape, because we're the only place kids can compete. They want to row. But also serving the seniors, and, you know, I'm a senior too, so.
Okay.
But I would say a boathouse would be my only real wish. I think everything else I kind of have, you know.
How do you motivate the kids? How do you, get information out to the kids about wanting to join the program and be a part of the program? What
We
kind
use
of
social
publicity?
media. We also recruit through the schools. So historically, we'll take, with some of the kids, we'll take a shell out for kids to see it. They do recruitment generally a couple of times a year where the kids
Cool.
pick what sport they want to play.
The kids also do bring a buddy, so if they know somebody that might be interested, they'll come and row. We also do the National Learn to Row Open House, so you'll see signs for
Do you
that.
take these kids up to Boston to the regatta up there at all to see what?
We have at times. It's hard to get into that. There's a lottery, but we take them to regattas. So this year, they just switched their regatta due to a scheduling conflict, but they're going to go to the textile in, I believe, Lowell. That's the textile, yeah. So they go and they compete, and that is the goal, which is, the road to the regatta.
Good. Keep them coming to work.
Yeah.
Good job.
Okay, David?
Good luck with finding someone philanthropic enough to provide that for you. It's tough on the
You know what, Dave? I think, not to interrupt, but I think the biggest obstacle with that wouldn't even be the money or the people saying it's a good idea or not. It would be the conservation. You have a bog on one side and the water on the other. That would be the biggest.
David? Dave, hold on, please.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
But David has the floor.
Okay, you said you have a safety committee.
Yeah.
Do you have a chair of that committee, or do you have a liaison that's in charge of that committee?
We do.
Who is that person?
Lori Campbell currently. I think she is transitioning to another person, but she has been the person that's overseeing our she lives in Chatham. She's the person who's been former phys ed teacher and has worked in the health and sport industries for years. So we are members of US Rowing, which is the governing body, and they have pretty tight guidelines on what we need to do. Everybody goes through Safe Sport that works with the kids, which is I'm sure you're familiar with, and we have used their guidelines as a basis, along with other small clubs, to develop our own safety standards and rules for our rowers.
The reason I asked that question, the Board of Selectmen meeting last night, a member of your club got on the computer and was discussing the bass fishermen with the Board of Selectmen, the speedboats, quote unquote. And I thought it was a little out of line based on what I've heard from you already, where an individual would power off to make statements to the Board of Selectmen directly without having a discussion with you folks first.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. If we come up with, there's a couple of things that we do. One is, we live on the water and we understand what we hear, which is everything. So we have rules about, and in fact, on some weekends we've said, you know what, there's no on Sunday, nope. From certain times, no. And we tell everybody, keep your voices down. We don't use the loud speakers with our coaches, with the youth. We're conscious of the fact that we have to share the water, and that's what we talk about with all of our members. So we have a pattern that we row. We try to keep everybody as close to shore as possible. We don't row in bad conditions. We monitor the weather. A lot of people don't understand that a rowing shell can be tippy, especially a single, and especially for someone who's new to the sport. We know that. We have coaches and we have a launch that goes out with our rowers, typically, especially the youth, always have someone. And that carries the coach, for example. But even despite that, living there, you're gonna encounter somebody who doesn't follow rules, who doesn't understand, who might be curious and think I can just whiz my boat right by and see what you're doing. We tried to take the stance of not confronting people, not being, we're collaborative. We have invited water skiers to come out and row with us because we know, and we have some little agreements. We go this way, you guys go that way, so that we all can share. So if there is an issue, we have a form that someone fills out so that we're all aware. And if there were to be something that we think you all or the Water Commission needs to know about, we would contact the harbor master to tell them, hey, we've had a problem with someone or someone has been unruly. But we generally, we have forms that you have to fill out if there's an incident so that we can track that kind of thing. So
Well, I guess what I'm saying.
I'm
to you
surprised
is
to hear someone, but I'm not surprised.
You have a
'cause,
loose cannon.
Yeah,
Okay, understood.
Okay, let's,
It'd be better coming from you, a
Yes.
single voice, to whomever.
and hence you will hear directly from our liaison for this committee and it would be someone from our safety committee.
Perfect, thank you.
let's make it perfectly clear, the Rec Commission has nothing to do with the water.
Excellent, I understand.
We are beach only.
Gotcha.
So any concerns on the water
Harbor master.
need to go to the
Goes to
harbor
harbor
master.
master.
Okay,
Okay.
just so we're clear on that. David,
Excellent.
you all set?
I'm all set,
Brian?
And thank you for the heads up.
not a problem.
Thanks for all the information. That was great.
Frank?
Thank you.
All set. Okay, so we're all set there, I believe.
Yeah,
Okay?
Excellent, thank you.
thank you.
And if
for
you ever
coming
have
in.
any issue, like, we are, please just let us know, we're happy to
I just
rectify
wouldn't
whatever.
go to Iraq,
We will. We're actually gonna consolidate.
because we gave this, and there's like that many now.
That's good.
Saying that quiet.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good success this summer.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
Thank you very
See you at
much.
the beach,
Absolutely.
and thank you for inviting us.
Thanks for coming in. Okay, so the next one is the,
The project.
Thank you.
Community Preservation
Miscellaneous
5.
correspondence.
Yeah, we don't have any. Sorry.
No, yeah, there's no.
Apologize, move on.
Yeah, I know.
It's a good thing.
I was gonna say, I was looking through my pile, Van. 5-year.
Yep,
I don't see.
Do we have a correspondence?
there was
John?
another one, I had emailed it out, it's in
Can I
here.
ask a question, John?
Yes, absolutely.
Did we ever get any response from the senior
We did not.
softball executives,
We did not.
okay, about whether or not?
No, we did,
Did
nothing.
they ever contact us?
No, and we're not gonna-
apologize
Nope.
for not being here?
I met with Jim Gunning, but it was about other,
We did get an email.
Yeah,
We just,
we did.
but that went to everybody
Yeah.
that they
Yeah.
forgot.
yeah,
But it did nothing in regards to the other thing.
no.
Thank you.
Thank you. So where,
So
oh,
is
here we
this
go.
one?
I got it.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know
this
why I didn't
list,
print
just so you know, I took the big list we had last month, and when we were discussing it, I put W's next to the ones you determined wants, and N's next to the ones you determined needs, and then there were some that were blank still, and that's the ones on the bottom. Here you go, Leah.
I have to.
Oh, you got it,
Yep,
okay.
right here.
On the bottom, so, at the very least, I was hoping to at least get the ones that are titled up for debate into a category here.
Okay,
But this is what you guys had asked me to kind of
yep.
pare it down for this month.
All right, I'll go, let's, number one, splash pad, is that a want or a need? My opinion is it's a want. And I'm not voting, I can't vote either way because I don't have any information on it. And I'm gonna stand true to that. I've said it since day one. I couldn't vote on a splash pad one way or the other today, okay? But if I had to classify that, I would classify that as a want. It's not something, if we don't have it tomorrow,
Something's gonna happen.
something's gonna happen. So that's just my opinion.
No,
Go ahead, Leah.
It's a want.
Yeah, I'm
It's
gonna
kind
go
of a
around.
straw poll.
Straw poll,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a want, for sure.
Van?
Yeah, I think I made my position clear the last meeting that we need more information. We need a heck of a lot more.
But do you think that's a want
It's
or
a
a
want.
need? Okay.
And I'd like to see it, I'd I'd like to see
By
that
those
information.
categories of want.
Thank you, Van. Frank?
Want.
Okay. At least now we have a category for it, and I agree with you, Van, on the needing more information. Potter Field, new dugouts. I'll defer to somebody who knows more about those dugouts than I do.
They're not a safety hazard right now.
Okay?
They could definitely use replacing. So I don't know how you want to categorize that. Like, I see the needs as things like the irrigation system so our fields don't get screwed up, you know. So I would still say the dugouts for now are a want. They're not crumbling and falling on top of people.
They're not a safety hazard.
No.
Okay? Leah?
How many seasons do you think they have left?
I'd have to check with Highway.
What, the,
You know,
dugouts?
but I don't see like a foreseeable future where they're gonna
Like not like
crumble.
be a
You
not
know, they're
imminently
solid,
fall.
they're
Okay.
concrete, you
yeah,
know,
then want.
so.
I brought that up at the last meeting as well. It's a want, okay, simply because the guys that use it and the gals that use it from Monomoy, okay, getting in there during the hot summer months, there's no ventilation. If they could put some kind of an opening in that concrete, it would be the end of the story. There would be no longer a want or a need. It's getting some ventilation in those dugouts. I
Okay.
don't know if it's doable, Eric, I don't know if it can happen. You know, can they cut, you know, into that and just open one side or the other side? So that you have some air flowing back and forth, because the guys they won't go in there. They stand outside because it's too darn hot. And as a matter of fact, we had 2 softball players last year that ended up in the hospital because of the hydration and they get overheated.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
it's something to ask.
Yep.
Thank you.
Want?
I do
Hold
believe
on,
that-
John, please.
Want.
Brian?
Want.
Frank, so we got wants on that,
Yep.
John?
Well, I just wanted to add, yeah, I think that is the new way that they're actually building dugouts now. I've seen that in a couple different construction sort of magazines, and I know that's how they kind of build them in Florida. You always have some sort of either
Opening.
window, or I've seen ones where it's like a grid, and there's a square missing in each kind of grid. So
Yeah.
yeah, if they were to redo them, they'd
In
certainly
down in Florida, it's all open with chain link fence.
Right.
Just the fencing around it,
Mm-hmm.
a
Yeah.
floor and a
Yeah.
couple of walls, and that's it. You know,
Right.
the rest is all chain link,
Yeah.
you know, so it's.
Mr. Chairman, I've coached women's softball for a long period of time. I played softball for a long time, way before senior softball. In those dugouts, you people have gotten soft.
All right, moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Foot,
Moving on, Dave.
futsal, I would call that a want. Leah?
Want.
Van? Location for the futsal court?
Want.
Like a
David?
permanent location.
Want.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm
I'd love
sorry.
to have it, but it's a
Can we
want, not a.
not use here this year?
Are they, did they ask to use
They
it?
have not asked.
No.
Do they have it set up anywhere now?
No,
No.
no,
I didn't know if they found someplace else.
not that I've heard.
Okay? I'm sorry, Brian.
I would say it's a need basically because we got it for so much money last year. Might as well put it to use. Whether
Okay.
it's here or somewhere else.
I changed my want to a need.
Did we pay for it?
But the only thing is, yeah, like,
CPC paid for it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
but it wasn't our application. So if it falls on our land, then yes, you know.
I think
Okay.
just justifiably for the town.
Yeah, oh
letting
yeah,
go.
yeah, I see what you're
Like,
saying, yeah.
I
If you're gonna,
changed too.
if you're gonna buy the thing, you might as well have somewhere to put it, yeah.
Frank?
Want.
Can I
So
change
if-
my mind?
Yeah, you did, so we're
Okay.
3-3. So that doesn't, well, right now, we'll keep that one equal.
That'll stay equal.
That'll stay even, Steven. And I guess across the street may be on hold for longer than we thought.
Across the street.
The lot.
Oh.
For the ropes course
Yeah,
and the,
who
okay,
knows?
so.
Has there been all, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, has there been any movement at all over there?
No.
Nope.
Raising of Sand Pond Boathouse.
That's
I think it's a want unless Highway tells me different.
again,
Agreed.
nobody said it's a safety hazard or anything, so.
That's why I said that as long, if Highway tells me different, I'll change my vote
Yeah.
in 5 seconds. Did you hear that, Mr. Nixon?
I know, to me, it's a
Van?
need. It's gonna.
It's a want, I mean, unless Highway can do the job and get it, raise it and get it over with.
I'll find out exactly how much it would cost.
David's a need. Brian?
Want as long as it's not a safety hazard.
So I think the ones have it.
Frank?
Want.
Find out what the cost is so that we can.
Well, if it's a safety hazard, the cost is irrelevant because the town's gonna have to take it down.
Right.
But if it's, and I believe the last time we talked to them, they said it was not a structural,
Don't worry about it.
don't worry about it. Now, that was 5 years ago. Things change. Okay, so we have,
Oh, John's got some.
oh, I'm sorry, we
I
got-
just want to know if just on the conversation of raising the sand pond boathouse, like there's kind of a delayed structure in the parking lot here. There's also one behind Potter's that I would definitely deem safety hazards more so than this one. I don't know if that falls under a completely different branch of responsibility.
Probably.
Whereabouts behind Waters?
No, you can see it if you're standing at home plate. It's
Are you
like,
talking about where the well is?
that's the well shed, isn't it?
That's a well
It's a
shed.
well
Maybe
shed.
the
oh, it
well
looks,
shed.
it
But it's
doesn't
a-
look,
That's
I
a
had,
well- that's a well shed.
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
just-
where all
It
the-
looks like a rickety
It,
old.
it,
That's-
it looked like, it did not look like it was in great condition.
That came
It was-
from another area. And
Okay,
there was no shed there at one time.
okay.
And what happened was we had a lightning bolt
That would be
that
highly.
knocked that whole system out. That cost the town about $10,000 or $11,000
So they put the shed
to
on.
redo it.
Okay.
And that's why they found a shed somewhere and just dropped it in that area.
When did that happen? Because I don't even
About
remember.
5, 6, 7 years ago, maybe.
Really?
Maybe a little longer.
Was there another one you came across?
No, I just saw the one structure.
How
Yeah, yeah.
continues to
It
impress.
looks, no, I had a parent ask me about it. I didn't know.
Which one was, 3-3? Dugout?
Futsal.
The,
Futsal
no,
court.
the futsal court.
Futsal.
So that was a 3-3, okay. Boathouse was a want,
And
okay,
I'll update this.
okay.
Well, what was number 3? What was number 3 again?
Futsal court location, Frank?
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right, so that takes care of prioritizing.
Yep.
I feel like you could, like,
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
now that we've done this, is this final?
Does he
Oh, God, no.
understand?
So
I
the
don't-
list is not final?
We're
He's
just
gonna
keep-
update it.
I'm gonna update it from tonight.
No, what I'm suggesting is, or asking is, under the needs, is that something that we would prepare a CPC articles for next year?
I think when you find your needs, then you start paring down amongst those needs.
Yeah.
Which one, we can't do them all at once. We can't do
Right.
3 irrigation systems in 1 year. So then we'll have to prioritize within the needs.
So we're not ready yet to go to the CPC. with
But I'd
it.
like to have everybody be ready for that for
Yeah,
the next
over the
meeting, because you
summer,
know what's gonna
yeah.
happen?
Right.
Yeah.
October 1st is gonna be here, and we're gonna be
Creeps up on
saying,
you.
shoot,
Yep.
No,
We're not
it's
ready.
not. No, it's not. Slow down.
Long summer.
Madam Chair.
September is coming quick. and
Yeah,
we're not
right.
ready. for
Brian?
On the needs versus wants, number 3, the senior memorial field.
Mhm.
Would a cost evaluation of turf there versus new irrigation over the course of 20 years?
We could ask.
Because the irrigation, the maintenance, the lawn mowing, the seeding, all the
Yep.
that's involved with the field
Yeah,
versus
it
turf.
can't hurt to ask,
If we're looking at the long lens, obviously short
What
term
field
is
is
cheaper.
what field are you?
Senior Memorial
Yeah,
and or Potter, really.
and or Potter.
Yeah. If it was a turf field. If it was 500 grand to put in a turf field, but that saves you this much over this much time.
I thought we were talking, if I may,
Hold on, David.
I thought we were talking about the potential of doing something like that with the land up and back of Potter Memorial and making that the multi-purpose turf field.
I'm game
What?
for any.
I think
Mm.
I think we talked about
Excuse me.
turf anywhere, right?
You pointed out back, Brian.
No, I'm sorry, I meant.
I was gonna say Potter and Memorial that way. All right, just making sure we're on
Okay,
the.
sure.
You're talking about- you're
We're gonna
talking
turf
about
the whole
that, yeah.
town.
Yes.
Yeah.
That- Do
And I was
it. Do it.
suggesting take over the land.
Get rid of all
up
this
back.
irrigation.
Yeah, right.
Senior Memorial is not gonna build a field up there, they're going to Wixon and Dennis, they're done with building any fields there.
Cool.
So that area is available,
Okay,
and, it's a matter of just
yeah,
getting some figures and taking down the trees and doing whatever has to be done to
Yeah.
get this thing going.
well, I was just thinking too, with the, irrigation coming up, when we got the quote, and it was very high. Is it worth doing a cost analysis over
Yeah.
10 or 15 years?
No, I like that comparison piece. That makes sense.
Because the irrigation system usually lasts about 15 years,
Right.
but there's all kinds of maintenance in between too.
Yeah,
New
yeah.
heads and new this and new that.
And
Wiring.
Wiring, yeah.
Certainly.
Just
The,
the, whatever the
The
cost of
irrigation
mowing.
system at Powder
Oh,
Memorial
yeah,
is
yeah.
well into
Take that out.
2020.
Yeah.
Because they use industrial piping, not the commercial. They use the big and heavy duty
Yeah.
industrial piping because they were very adamant about making certain that we didn't have to get into extra maintenance on all of that.
Yeah.
So it's something to think about.
So please come prepared in May to prioritize those. David?
So my question will be to Leah,
Yes.
have you done your due diligence with CPC?
I know this.
That's not meant to put you on a spot.
Not this
did.
month. I still have a newborn.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna milk that as long as I
Yes,
can.
What was that? What was that?
No, but,
The splash pad?
No.
no, but if that is,
Artificial turf,
yes,
field turf.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Yes, I
that.
have not.
Oh, yeah.
but
Okay, we're
But-
not gonna get into it.
I will have an answer next month.
Thank you.
There
I will
go.
absolutely
Okay.
have it.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Brian, please remind me to do that.
We got you, somebody's
That pain
watching
in
it.
the,
Somebody, no.
moving on.
I wrote it down too.
Thank you.
Okay, Rec and Youth Representative to Facilities Commission, nominate and vote.
My term is up
Yes.
this year, and I've already informed Carolyn that I would not seek reelection. I've done it for 6 years.
Okay.
And I think it's somebody else's turn to join Carolyn and Reagan and see what a wonderful job they do, putting together all of the programs and running this building, which is a Herculean task. I learned a lot. And, great committee, good bunch of people on the committee, Angela Chilaka and others. It's time for somebody else to pick up the gauntlet and move forward.
Okay. Anybody of interest?
Do you want
We
to work
don't-
with me?
We'd love that.
Okay.
Do you have, I mean, you got the bandwidth, go ahead, Carol.
Do you mind?
No, are we talking about,
I just wanted to say publicly, we just wanted to thank Van for
Oh,
his service.
oh, very nice.
So if you work with us for 6 years, I buy you a
get a hoodie, I mean,
sweatshirt.
sweatshirt.
We really appreciate
What
I will be
everything.
at the
happens
Thank
next
if you stay
you.
for
meeting,
7?
Carol.
Of course you will, but your board needs to know how much you
Thank you.
appreciate it,
Thank
so.
you, sweetie.
Thank
Good job,
you.
Van.
Thank you. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Thank you,
Do
Carolyn.
you want it?
Thank you.
Carol.
I'll
You
step
wanna see it
out.
for this?
Sorry.
No.
Okay,
Now you
okay.
really want it, right? You get a
Yeah,
sweatshirt.
look at that.
Okay, so we took
Swag.
care, we have to have a,
Probably a vote.
do we have
So
a
move.
second?
Second,
All those in favor?
aye.
Good luck.
Aye, good luck. Thank you.
They meet at 3:30.
3:30?
They're at 3:30 the second Friday of every month.
How are
You
you
can
gonna
do that.
You're gonna go back to work.
Never.
That's because they're
Wait, oh, that was on TV. My husband doesn't know
Leah.
yet.
I can't make
they're trying to accommodate people at work.
We'll edit that out.
Please do.
Did she just say
Is
what I
this
thought she
live?
said?
Moving on,
Leah, they're trying to
See-
accommodate people at work. That's
Oh.
why they went to that.
Senior Memorial
Perfect.
Extended
Well, it works
Fence
well.
Netting.
So this was
Uh,
brought up last meeting. So the senior memorial new fencing is in. One thing that the senior softball group was inquiring about was extending the right field fencing up so balls can't get over and into Potter Field. Van obtained a quote. Was it?
Yes.
Yeah, and it was about $3,200 for a netting system. It's not actually fence; it's netting that would go up.
That include the pulleys and everything? to
I
put
think it
up?
includes everything, right?
Installed?
Installed.
But the question is,
It's another 15 feet higher.
is it need? Well, it's needed, but who pays for it?
Well, the first question is, why all of a sudden is it needed?
Well, see, from our perspective, I've never gotten complaints about a ball going over into a field or hitting anybody or anything at all. But senior softball, when I did meet with Jim Gunning, he says they hit the ball over. They're worried about hitting people in Potter Field. It tends to go over right field.
Okay.
It was their worry.
That's
So,
only
yeah.
early in the season.
Leah, be good down here. Any questions, comments?
I guess who pays for it is kind of where I don't have a problem with it, with the net going up. It's just who infers that cost.
I can tell you what I think if you want.
I was gonna go around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then-
Go ahead.
That
Yeah,
would be my question.
Me
would
too.
be, who infers that?
Dan?
Same, the cost factor, okay, $3,200 $3,200, $3,300, whatever it is, who's gonna pay for it? But there is a safety issue. I've seen the balls fly over that right field fence, land at first base, okay, where the first baseman almost got hit a couple of times. I've seen some high fly balls land into the bleachers where people are sitting, spectators are sitting there, so it's a very, a very cautious, nasty thing that could happen. Should, from a safety perspective, it's something that we should look at, but again, cost factor.
Yeah, first three are out, seem like they're on the same page, the three of us. David?
How much is left over?
You can't do an add-on. No.
But how much is left over?
A lot, 50 grand.
A full of 50.
But it's not a matter of how much is left over, it's what's allowed to be done within the.
Okay, have you submitted that submittal yet to CPC?
Submitted what?
The 50 grand or whatever the balance?
To return yet? Not yet, no. No.
Okay.
It just finished, so.
Okay. Did the back wall get redone?
The backstop?
The backstop?
No. It was never planned to. It doesn't need to be done.
I may understand that, but the thing was CPC funded that entire.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did, Derek. The town meeting warrant article said
Says
all
it.
fencing, including backstop.
It says including backstop?
Yeah, it's written out.
Those exact words?
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
If you tell me it's not needed, that's fine, that's your business.
I don't know how that got
I'm
in.
just looking to get the money back.
I don't have it with me, but I looked.
Because Highway said the backstop wasn't needed.
Okay.
So I never had any intention, that the backstop was still in good enough shape that we don't have to replace that.
But I think I want to say it was Article 43 or whatever it was.
All right, I'll look.
Yeah.
We don't want any backlash, Barry?
Yep.
You got what I'm saying?
Yep.
Brian?
Yeah, if it's a safety thing, then yeah, we have to figure out where that comes from, but kind of on the same page as you guys.
I agree on the cost. My first thought is,
Frank,
oh yeah, hi Frank. Thank you, Madam Chair, Vice Chair.
getting ready.
Frank, what do you think?
What did I hear for the cost? I hear 3,300 for the
Yep.
fence net.
Right around there.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. It's where it comes from. It's gonna be done out of revolving fund.
Okay, my thought is, it may not be a popular one, we didn't create the problem. Senior softball expanded, they went to younger people, we never had this problem until they expanded. So based on that information, I think senior softball should pay for it. Up until they started the 50-year-olds hitting 400-foot home runs, it was never a problem. 20 plus years, 20?
Almost.
And have we ever heard of it? Just a thought, doesn't mean it's gospel, but that's.
Thoughts. I understand that point of view, but if there's a significant public safety issue, if it's true that these balls are taking people out or have the possibility of taking spectators out, then I would think it's now open, it's now in the public. I would say that we, in all probability, with the department head's approval, we could use the revolving fund to solve the problem.
Oh, yeah, you
But
definitely can.
now it's out there is a problem, if it's true.
And there were two options put on the table.
Just my
Yep,
thoughts.
but there were two options put on the
Understood.
table, town or senior softball, so it just has to be decided which way you wanna go. Throw a motion out.
Well, I'd love
Frank?
to hear from the rest of the board.
Yeah, I did Dave Nixon. I agree with Dave Nixon 100%. We should do it.
Has anyone been
Would
hit?
they be available for like another option?
Throw it.
Like a 50-50?
Yeah, I was gonna say 50's that.
Is that an
We're-
option that we could discuss with senior softball?
Yeah.
Like a 50-50 for the netting?
I could talk to Jim Gunning about it, yeah.
I feel like maybe that meets both, the safety issue gets covered, but we're not eating the whole cost for something
Yeah,
that we
I'm willing
didn't
to
create.
split it with you.
How long, the next question would be, and I don't know if Van you received that, how long does it take to order it and install it?
Well, when I talked to the foreman in charge, he said the sooner you get it done because it's their busy season.
That's my concern.
He's, we talked to them in March, I think it was,
Yeah, yeah.
When they were planning to put that fence up.
Yep.
And I went down and talked to them about the fencing and so on, and he said, right now, I'm gonna give you a quote, get it in as quickly as you can.
Okay.
Because we're in our busy season right now.
Well, if you guys vote to split it, go forward with the idea of splitting it, I could contact Jim tomorrow, and I don't see him saying no to that. But you never know. So the only question I would have is, if he does say no, then what?
Then you're talking May meeting.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
we'd have to wait.
We have three options on the table.
Yeah.
Town, senior softball, and a split.
Can I make a
When
motion
you
to
say
split?
town, you're talking revolving account.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I make a motion to split, to approve
Yeah.
the split?
And then if they don't agree with it,
Then we
it
don't
doesn't
do
happen
it,
right now.
right?
We don't need a
Oh,
motion.
you don't, okay,
No, yeah, I don't think we need.
okay.
I think that, you might wanna point out that if we can get the company to come in ASAP and mention that to Jim.
Yeah, I'll put that in the email. Yeah.
Say that if we'll contact the company and see if they're willing to come over right away, and we have your quote.
Yep.
And this is the action needs to be taken.
Yep.
And if Jim says we're still not gonna do it, then
It's, yeah.
Is
See you
this,
later.
is this a removable
no.
net?
No,
No,
it's
once
up
they put it up,
permanently.
yeah.
It's
So
gotta
this
come
is
down
us.
in the winter,
But we own it, like it.
Oh, once
the-
it's there, yeah, we own it.
Okay.
Yeah.
but it's gotta come down in the winter.
Yeah.
Piping.
Yep.
About 15 feet high, and then they stretch the netting out across.
Okay.
Yep.
But again, it's come down in the winter.
Yeah.
Highway needs to do that.
Yep.
Or whoever, because Orleans takes theirs down in the winter, in the winter.
Yeah, it'll get rolling with the.
Oh, yeah.
So what's the final, is it 50-50? And
Pass.
what if they reject? Do we authorize Eric to go forward with the whole thing? And I hate to do this. on
No, I
television.
think we should bring it back in May. If they don't wanna go through, then we
Then
come
they
back
may
and
have to
have a
wait.
new
Try to
discussion,
second
yeah.
at the time.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. May puts it in July or August if you're lucky, maybe for an install.
We've waited this long, if it's that much of an issue.
But from what I'm
If they're
hearing,
willing to do it, the company can do it, at least talk to them about getting it up for the classic, because you got the big guys coming in
September,
for the
yeah.
tournament.
Yeah.
And those guys are bombers too, they're hitting the ball like there's no tomorrow.
And you guys are
But
in
I'm
season
hearing-
now, right?
Pardon me?
You're in season now?
Yeah, they started today,
Oh, okay.
they're out there at practice today. I say season starts officially next week.
No one's been hit though, there's been no instances.
No, we haven't had any reports of
not
anybody
that I'm
getting
aware
that.
of.
I mean,
How
that's-
big's like the biggest crowd that gets there?
Pardon me?
How big is the biggest crowd that is there? What's a?
The classic would probably
No,
get.
no,
No.
You're talking a regular.
Just regular, not classic.
30,
Yeah.
maybe 30,
And I-
25, 30.
Most people are paying attention.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it's
They go
field
to
to
Red
field
Sox
though,
games.
isn't that what
They're
they're
at
saying?
base and they don't pay
It's
attention.
To the
players.
other field.
I don't think it's more spectators, I think it's players,
He also said-
field to field.
Spectators assume a
So-
certain risk when they're going. to watch a
Yeah,
game,
but I think he said home run all the way to right field or first
Okay,
base.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Banging them over the fence.
they might not be paying attention because
Yeah.
they're paying attention to the
Yeah.
games.
First baseman.
It's
Yeah.
simple. If it's early in the season, it's going right. If it's late in the season, it's late.
Well, if they go
It's
left, it
going
doesn't
left.
matter, because
Okay.
it's going in the woods.
So that's the way we're going? Eric, you're gonna take care of that?
You got it.
Policy discussions. That is something that I asked to bring up. We have done this ad nauseum in the past, and we've all let it kind of slide. We talked about a policy book or a motion book or a.
We have a motion book.
Do we?
Yeah, I gave it to you guys a couple of years ago. It needs to be updated again,
Okay.
but I can do that.
First of all, a couple things. With your permission, I'm gonna jump to the chairman's report, so I don't do things out of whack here. Two things. There's a rugby league that plays on McPhee, and this isn't related to the policy, but
Yeah,
plays out of McPhee, and a couple weeks ago, they had to cancel because it was gonna rain, and they told them, now, Jared informed me the other day, it's supposed to rain again this Saturday. What do you think about kids not letting them use the field again?
I told them to hold off today.
I think my thought is, and I'm looking for some help here, is that we ask Eric or John to call whoever the contact for rugby is and explain to them, here's the situation. We're concerned with the field, the forecast, and this is going forward, not just for this week. that the forecast is, or you can tell them, you don't have to call them every time.
Yeah.
Forecast is for rain, then this may be a Friday, pull the plug. Give them the option, do they have another place that they can play and they don't care about the rain?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't
'cause
like pulling the plug on Friday.
No, and we didn't do that last time either. It was a couple days before.
Okay, but even still,
But we're relying on, so our policy, it is kind of a policy, is when it comes to weather in the fields, we defer to Jared and the highway department. So if he says, cancel, then we cancel.
I'm not arguing that, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to make it fair to the,
Oh, yeah.
to the group that's
Give-
coming, cause granted, we don't, it's not like a Red Sox game where they keep you hanging there for 4 hours and then call
Rugby's
it
hard
off.
too, because rugby almost sometimes prefers.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
But the thing is
No more
that,
rains
our
happening.
fields
So that's
will
why
take a
we-
beating.
Right.
Rugby's not like one of the, it's
Right.
gonna take a toll. There's cleats and there's
Right.
guys
It's
tackling
unique.
and.
It is unique, and does it come to a point that maybe it's not, and I don't wanna do that, because I think it's good to have them in town. You just don't rent McFeedle. I wish we had a field that didn't matter. It could be a
Turf,
mud
like a
bowl.
turf field.
Turf field.
Turf field.
I can't see rugby playing on
No,
turf.
No.
No, I
you
don't-
want it for the softer contact.
Of course.
the grass.
But anyhow, that was just something to throw out.
Yeah.
If you can explain to whoever the contact is that this can continue, they play all summer.
This could happen.
So this could happen 2 or 3 weekends a month around here.
So the concern, Jared's only concern was the.
The field in the rain.
The field being damaged.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yep.
Okay.
And there are 4 other groups that have that field reserved, similar to what we dealt with out back.
Yeah, so you don't wanna
Definitely tear up
screw it up for
Okay.
everybody else. Yeah.
The other one is, are you aware, have you heard that they're gonna put an addition on the press box deck?
Mary Henderson called me, and she said we had an idea to she didn't say an addition, she said a renovation, to renovate the deck. Would you have a problem with that? I said, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but who's paying for it? She said, well, you guys don't have any money to put towards it. And I said, no. And then she said, okay, and she didn't give me any other leeway of like when they're planning on doing this, or if they actually are, or anything, so.
So no definitive, we're expanding it, we're making it bigger.
And this is when we're doing it? No.
Okay.
They talked to the building department?
They must have.
We're at the
I heard
very
they
end.
got a permit. That's what I heard.
Wow.
Okay, so now I'm gonna go back up to policy.
Yeah.
We, as a commission, and I'll blame myself because I've been chair for most of it, have let the train get off the tracks in regards to what we used to handle. There was a time when that would come to rec, they'd come with a plan,
Yep.
like anybody, like senior softball or anybody,
Yep.
and we'd have to go through it and give them the okay. I was a little shocked to hear that it had already been, or they've already got the blessing on it. So, that's one of the policies I think we should, just so we know exactly what's going on. Any alterations, and I'm not looking to do it tonight,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's just something I wanna discuss. We've let the, like I said, I'm not gonna beat that
Do
to
you
death.
have specific policy concerns, John, that you'd like?
Well, that's just
That's the
one.
one. That's what it is.
That's one. The other one is, we've talked about it ad nauseum, and we talked about it last month, is the gate guard chairs. And you know that's been up, other than keys,
We just ordered them.
high ones.
Yep.
Okay. Other than keys, that's probably my biggest, okay. But that's,
They're ordered.
all right, so that was one of the other ones, that they're not sitting on the ground. Okay, thank you for ordering them. They're on sale in Howardsport.
30 inches.
30 inches up.
They're actually, they're gonna be lifeguard chairs. There's no lifeguard branding on them. So it's an elevated, we're looking for a couple of different factors. It's heavy enough, it's not gonna get blown over by the wind, obviously. And, cost, of course, is another factor. And then they have two holes on the side that you can put an umbrella in. And
What do
then
we
we're
have,
going
3?
with high grade, umbrellas. We went with 3 for Earl, Pleasant, Long Pond, and then the other one at Riv, Pine Harbor, will be making a replica of the one stand that we do have. And the reason we went with that is because that one has to be placed in the middle of the road. And it would look silly as well as be a safety hazard if they were just kind of in
So you're gonna put one in the V at Julian and.
towards the back end. I met with Brian
Brian,
Allaby
yeah.
on that today. We also discussed portable stop signs as well as and just that particular location, the potential for a temporary speed bump. Nothing crazy, just something just to help slow down because as we were obviously concerned with that V of the traffic as well. But yeah.
That's a bad spot.
Yeah.
It's such a wide area for the gate to cover.
Right.
Okay, so that takes care of that. So that was the other one, whether the commission wants to put a policy in that place if we're all on the same page on that one. And the other one was additions, gate guards.
Beach supervisor.
Oh, no. That's your own policy.
Look at it.
I'd like to see a policy put into place on procedure for repairs. For, if I see something, work orders, I guess is the right word.
Yeah.
Because now they seem to be falling through the cracks. For example, the third base dugout pole has been bent for
Yeah.
over a year, and it's still bent.
Yep.
So, again, I would like to see a policy where somebody from the commission, the public, whatever, sends you an email or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You send it to highway, I guess that's the way they want it done, right?
Yes.
If what?
I said yes.
Oh, I thought you said if.
No, yeah.
And then, so when you send it to highway, the chair gets a CC. So you, the chair, and highway know. So that way if they say, well, you didn't send it, or whatever the case may be, I mean, that's a simple little.
That was the, John, if I may interrupt,
Yeah.
that was the policy that I established when I was chair with highway. Okay, we never, it was a verbal.
Yep.
It was just a verbal agreement, a memorandum of agreement.
They've changed their way of doing work orders several times.
Right.
So we're just, yeah.
And Jared wanted to be involved as well. He wanted a copy of that policy,
Okay, how
but
many
he said,
people
you
get
know, as long as I get it from the highway, what they do is when they get the work orders, they put them on a hook or something. And Jared then is supposed to get that off that area and work on it, and then let people know that the job is in progress or it's done.
Yep, that's, if we have a policy on these things when we're not here any longer, and Eric's not here, you can say, yeah, there's a book that says this is how it's done. So if,
I guess my follow-up question is, who would you have write that policy?
I'll be dead.
you wanna volunteer?
Well, I started to work on something about those.
We can, well, if you wanna just prepare some first reads for next month.
Well, I need to have somebody work with me, because we need to make sure that we do the right thing. If
Still there?
somebody would like to sit with me and write a
I'll work with you.
Okay.
And I'm not looking for volumes. I'm looking for, you know me, short and to the point. Couple lines, this is what it is. So that's where I'm thinking on that.
Okay.
All right? Everybody okay with that?
I still would like to make a statement.
What do you think this is gonna be
I
about?
don't know.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Nixon, please keep it within the parameters of our agenda.
I know, I tend to have a tendency to think out of the box. Sometimes it's better to take action and ask for permission later. Do you remember when the guard down, I got you, Frank. You remember when the guard shed got wiped out along with half the building?
Yeah, the
So
car.
I drove down there on a Sunday morning, and I see this little girl sitting in the chair in the middle of that parking lot. And that kind of buzzed my head quite a bit. I went to Highway and got their braces that they put up when they want to shut roads down. And I put two of them, one in front of her and one behind her. So that the cars
I mean,
that
she
were
was sitting where the shack used to be.
beige, in the middle with nothing.
Wait, when did this happen?
When did that thing get hit?
When
Like
did the
6 or
shed
7
get
years
wiped
ago?
out?
So what's the
I
point?
don't understand.
So what I'm saying is, I understand policies have to be followed to a certain degree. I get it, not a certain degree, that's why they're in place. But if you see something that's, any one of us at this table, sees something like that, something that's definitely a public safety issue, react.
That's what that's how I started the conversation. I said, if anybody on the commission gets a complaint or sees something, then you start the process. Did I
I
not?
think you mean skip the process and
That-
just do.
Just do, exactly.
I disagree with
So
that, David.
hold-
After
hold
20
me-
years of,
Hold me for whatever
Yeah.
contempt.
now, there are different priorities. That's a totally different story than a bent fence on
Yeah.
the dugout at third
Yeah,
base.
yeah, right.
So you've got to use, there's got to be some
sense.
common sense in it. And if it's a day where you can't get Eric or John for some reason, then you call the chair. And the chair can call highway. If it's a safety issue, it doesn't matter. Get it done. I'm not saying yes. But highway's gonna love you, or me for giving you the okay. Moving on from that note,
Next month, highway who?
program fees, hold on. Frank, you're up, so get ready.
Has everybody got that?
Hold on. Pass around, please.
Take one.
It's
pass
being
it
passed as
down.
we speak, Frank.
Okay, fine.
Moving right along.
I didn't get this until I don't have it either.
There should be enough there to get to 10.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Frank.
I think at the last meeting, the proposed fees for, summer pickleball at Brooks Park was put out there.
Actually, Frank, hold on a minute, hold on a second, please. Let's get an update from Eric on what exactly took place. Did somebody meet with pickleball?
Well, John went to the pickleball board meeting.
Okay.
Whatever you want to call it, to update them on the fact that we're going to raise our price from 50 to 65 for residents for this upcoming spring and summer.
Do you have Teflon on?
Wait, we're
So,
raising it from 50 to what?
65.
All right, so that's,
Oh, because it says 75.
no,
No.
Oh,
it's,
here we go. I see.
65 and then
Okay.
100 for the
Yep.
legacy non-resident.
All right, got it.
okay, so,
We're going
all right, so that's what's on the table right now. That's what we're going to discuss under program fees. Frank,
I'd like to make a motion, that we charge the residents $50 and the non-residents $60. And I'd like to say why I think that's proper. If you look at that, printout that John just.
hold on, Frank, hold on. If we're gonna get the motion, we're gonna get a second before we discuss it.
All right, I'm sorry.
You said
Anyway,
$60, is that what he said?
let's get the second first, and then
He
we'll.
wants 50 and 60 instead of 60 and
Is
5.
there a second and then we'll open it to discussion? All right, we've got a second from Van, open for discussion. Go ahead, Frank.
You know, and looking at that new fee structure, 65 to 100, that makes it the highest on the Cape, if not probably the highest in the state. And I can't see the justification for charging, especially 100 for non-residents. That's a slap in the face to every non-resident on the Cape. And we have many members that play in Harwich, paid members, that join these other towns. And we don't have a whole lot, but there's such a thing as a law of diminishing returns. You know, you're going up to 100, we're going to lose some players, and you're going to lose revenue. So I don't know the reason why we're going up to 100. I just don't understand it.
Let's ask the director, why?
So first of all, these numbers, the dentist one, that's not correct. Isn't it 75 for residents?
No, I think that's the non-resident.
Okay, I got you.
That's non-residents.
But does anybody, like, what are the times of play for these other ones?
All day, 8 till noon.
Okay.
No, not
I don't
all.
think that's-
Not all of them are
no.
8 to noon, and not all of them are 7 days a
Yarmouth,
week.
Yarmouth.
Yeah.
Hold on, guys, one at a time, please.
Yeah, John's right. Like, they're not all 8 to noon and they're not all 7 days a week either.
I'd like to hear
Yarmouth
John's
is
information.
open play on
That's what he
Sunday.
just said.
Every day, I believe.
Oh,
So
as
is
far
it, who's?
As far as the exact specific ones I know for a fact, there's 2 or 3 towns that are not 7 days a week, and some of them do move earlier, 7 to 11. So you're moving out of the prime time, high demand window. I know Dennis does, I believe, do 7 to 11, and we also offer evening play as
Yeah.
well.
And I think a big part of this, so this is all.
Excuse me, Eric, 1 second.
Yeah.
Explain the evening play, please.
Evening play, I want to say it's 2 hours, 2 days a week, in addition to the 8 to 12.
What hours are those?
7.
5 to 7,
5 to 7,
someone
yeah.
around that, in that
5 to
range.
7.
So it's 4 additional hours a
Yeah.
week.
Okay. Is that weekends or weekdays?
Weekdays.
Okay.
Okay, so it's,
I'm just curious.
all right, sorry, Eric, I just wanted.
And I was just saying, so this is all revolving fund, as everything else. And the way the revolving fund works with recreation is we don't take each program and say, okay, pickleball made 10 grand, but we only spent 3. So we're 7 in the black for pickleball. Revolving fund for the programming is seen as a whole. You have big programs that supplement small programs. That's how recreation works. You wouldn't be able to survive without that. You could have a toddler T-ball program. I'm just throwing an example out there with 8 kids in it. That you still have to have a staff member there, equipment, all that stuff. You're going to be in the red for that program. So bigger, and this has always worked this way even before pickleball. Like rec basketball would supplement smaller programs. In this case, the outdoor pickleball is actually supplementing the indoor pickleball as well, because the fee for that, 80% of it goes to the 204, which is regulated by the select board. In addition to that, we're seeing some, costs coming up. We're looking at a quote of 10 or 11 grand for the paving stones project that we looked into. And you have to prepare for stuff like that. So this, a $15 increase. When you break it down, $65. I'm not as worried about non-residents. They are legacy players, not just non-residents. I'm more worried about residents, and $65 over, at least 14 to 16 weeks of outdoor play, 28 hours a week on 10 exclusive courts for them during that time period, plus the night play. I don't know. It seems pretty reasonable to me.
Yes, and we take in quite a bit. You know the numbers, what number of people we have, right?
Yeah.
Then you multiply that out, there's a huge amount of money coming in. It'll more than cover pavers 3 times over.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anything else, Frank, before I let the commission speak on it or ask questions?
No.
Leah?
I think John said that, we're gonna have one reason is we're gonna have a monitor for inside play, which I think is totally unnecessary.
See,
I think
Frank,
John. Eric?
Oh, I was just gonna say, Frank, the monitor thing, we think it's necessary, and we hear from the pickleball community, we hear a different thing every time we talk to them. We need a monitor, we don't need a monitor. It depends on who the monitor is. It's, I think a monitor is necessary to regulate that indoor. Big time.
if you have a monitor, it should be a monitor that knows pickleball, because that's the purpose of a monitor, to call when you go from 11 to play the 9 or go to rally scoring. If there's a big crowd there, that's what a monitor does, really, not just sit in the hallway. And I know it probably came about because pickleballers came in there one Monday because there were events there over the weekend, and there were water bottles scattered all over the floor. Another time there was cereal on the benches and stuff like that when they came in the morning. So they probably complained to the one who's at the building. But, I don't know how that monitor came apart.
Okay. Leah? Comments, questions?
I'm for the increase. I think it's not outrageous, the amount. And what we offer compared to everywhere else is a lot more. Also, I feel that out of all the programs, pickleball asks for a lot compared to the rest of the programs. I know most of the programs are, we need t-shirts for the kids, or we need, some this, that, but there's a lot that goes into pickleball as far as the courts and the maintenance and the pavings and the projects and the nettings and all the whatever it is. This is a good price. This is a good revenue for the rec, and I don't see a problem with the increase.
Ben?
Would you be willing or interested in reducing the 100 proposed for non-residents to a lesser amount?
Can I interrupt for a second, Van?
Sure.
Can you explain, I was gonna ask that, I'm glad you asked it. Can you explain the rationale behind the non-resident increase of 20?
Do you want to do that one?
That's a major increase, it's $25 or so.
Why that one's going up more than the resident one?
Yeah.
Well, it's legacy players.
What does that mean? What
It's
is
players that have been grandfathered in, basically, to the program that are non-residents. So, to me, I'm not worried about like that. If one's going to go up a little higher to keep the resident costs from going up even more, that would be the one. Because I'm not concerned about losing some non-residents to the program. If anything, it will alleviate some of the crowds down there. So, you know, if we were going to price somebody out, I'd rather price out a non-resident than a resident.
Go ahead, Van.
No,
John was going to answer too.
John, you wanna?
Yeah, I can just add, when we say non-resident versus legacy, the legacy, it's a set list, at least from what I've certainly it's been explained to me, that the legacy, it's not open to just non-residents who can sign up. It's people who have already signed up in the past, and it's sort of an exclusive thing that's just to them because they were in it for a long time. So that would be the reasoning for that. I guess of the two, if we wanted to bring that down $5-10, you know, that's certainly, you know,
Doable.
doable.
The legacy folks, do they have certain times that they use the courts?
It's
Do
all
they
the same.
do they get privileges for that $100?
Same as everybody else.
Same as everybody else.
Same,
8
so
to
they
12, 7 days a week.
Yeah, so they don't get special privileges and so on for that $100.
But because the special privileges, they get to play as a non-resident because they've signed up in the past.
Again, I could see an increase, but I think $100 right off the bat might be a little bit, out of whack compared to what I see here from all the other communities. I think maybe we need to think about a compromise on that. And the 65 I have no problem with. I think the $65 is a reasonable amount of money to Frank was looking at another $15 to play, all summer long, whenever you want to play and so on and so forth. But I think that $100 proposed for the non-residents, let's be a little more compassionate and think about coming down a few bucks and see where we go with that.
All right, let's keep going, and we'll come back then. David?
Empathy is one thing.
All right.
$100 for entertainment for a season.
Just so we're,
Please.
may I interject something here, David? Just so all of you know. I calculated it at 6 months, May, June, July, August, September, October, they're outside. That comes out to 720 hours or $36 a day. 36 cents a day for at $65. So we're discussing this for half an hour for 36 cents a day.
I just did the calculations for 12 weeks.
So I
For
have
like
no,
a-
again, I
It's
have
a
no
true
problem
6
with
months.
the
For the, but for the
$65.
100
It was-
non-resident,
You made my point.
$1.68.
Brian?
I think it's a fair price, especially given, prices of other programs through the rec too. They're all pretty comparable now too.
Right.
And again, there's a lot that is offered here in Harwich. I think the only one that's comparable probably is the tennis course because they have a lot of them there too. And we're kind of in line with them and we have more hours available.
Okay.
My last comment will be if you're going to, and it was raised to me that a Dennis person might want to come play with a Harwich person because they're friends and they don't want to pay the 100. My response was come at 12 o'clock and play with your friend. It's no different than going to Cranberry Valley. If you're going to Cranberry Valley, either you're buying a non-resident membership at a lot more than the resident's paying, or you're paying the daily rate. So I don't think it's any different than, personally, that's my opinion. So we have, did you make a motion on this one?
No.
No, we're still in Frank's.
Okay.
Frank made a motion.
Oh, Frank, yeah, and that's right, Van seconded, yep.
I just wanted to add one last thing. The discussion around the monitor at the 204 for the indoor, I spoke with Cara very recently about this exact thing. And she reminded me, it's actually a town policy that if the town department is having a program, you are required to have a town employee there. And that is also something we follow in this building. So it's not really whether they want it or should we want it or anything like that, but she informed me that it is a town policy that we have to.
I know, I realize, and that's when pickleball started. I asked the question, can we take over the gym? They said yes, and the requirement is we have a town employee. My next question was, can we have a pickleball player as a town employee? The answer was yes, and a pickleball was a monitor for many, many years. as long as there is a town employee in the building, they don't need a monitor.
We're getting different, we're
Yeah, I've
getting
had many
different
people come to me and say we do
interpretations.
need one. When we didn't have one, people say we need one, and when we have one, they say we don't
And
need one.
if I could, just the amount of complaints that I feel you filter,
I was just gonna say,
we should have one just for that alone. If
And
they
it-
have
yeah,
this many complaints that continuously come in, having a monitor there so you have a go-to person to be like, hey,
What
this
happened?
flood of stuff came in, what happened?
Structure.
We have it there.
What was Frank's motion?
to
60.
50
I'd like
and
to make
60.
I'd like to make one other comment on the $100. Many Harwich players that are registered to play in the summer join Dennis, Yarmouth, and Barnstable. It's a big community, and they may only play 3, 4, 5 times in those communities. And the other is true also, where we have people that join the Harwich out-of-towners. And I
Sounds like they have
think with the
plenty of money.
$100, the other towns will just jack up their feet, Harwich residents.
Okay, so there is a
And there's a lot of town play. You know, the ladies have something, they go to, 16 ladies go to Yarmouth or Brewster or whatever, and then the 16 ladies come to Harwich, they play late afternoon or evening, something like this. There's a lot of inter-town play with the pickleball players.
So let me, just so I'm clear, so if there's inter-town play late in the afternoon, it's open courts?
Yeah.
Okay, so that doesn't impact the people from another town. All right, so there's a motion and a
Just for your
second.
information, before you go with that, you're not looking for a vote. Frank is saying $50, which is the same as this year.
He's looking to leave it alone.
Yeah, and $60 rather than the 75 or
65.
100. So he's
He wants to go
reducing it.
down.
Yeah.
You're actually reducing the
I don't think that we should be reducing it.
Let's vote the motion, please. We have a motion and a second on the table. All those in favor of Frank's motion, say aye. All those
Aye.
opposed?
Nay.
No.
Nay.
Okay, so it's 5-1. 5-1 against. Do we have a motion
I'll make a
to,
motion that we go from 65
Nope.
for the 2025, 65 for
75.
residents and $80 for non-residents.
do we have a second?
Second.
So we have a motion to go from
50 to 65.
No, it's just 100 to 80 on the non.
Down, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thick, late, hungry.
You
Okay.
can always do another one next year, you know?
So we have a motion and a second on that one. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Okay. It passes.
So it's 65 and 80, right?
And we'll change that this week because the registrations open up on Monday.
Thursday.
Oh, that's right,
May 1st,
Thursday, May
9 a.m.
1st.
It's 2 days away.
My dates are completely screwed up.
All right,
So we'll
moving
change
on,
it tomorrow.
director's report.
So everything's pretty self-explanatory, but I had a couple to add on, and we had talked about the sticker sales, which if you're anywhere on
Yes.
Facebook,
We didn't do the minutes,
See that?
John.
So I was in,
Sorry, man.
go back to it.
Go to directors, I'll jump back.
I was in meetings with Joe, Crystal from the Treasurer's Department, Ed Spellman, the interim finance director, and Lynn Cooper, about not just beach stickers, but treasure chest stickers and disposal, transfer station. Crystal, the Treasurer's Department, does not want the crowds that they have at Town Hall. So she's pushing, they wanted online sales without people coming in. The other option in the past was having it here. She said she wouldn't have the staff to be here.
We used to do it.
Another option
Here last
is,
year.
yet another option is the Chamber of Commerce that Joe expressed that the town does not want to be involved with them selling the stickers for us. So they made the ultimate decision to sell online sales only. And that's where it stands right now.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll stay that way with the uproar, but and the other part was that in the past we're opening the beaches June 28th as far as guarding it. In the past, if you had last year's sticker, you're good until July 1st.
Okay, yep,
If you don't have any sticker at all, you can buy a day pass.
okay.
Joe has instructed us now, though, that if people come, whether they have last year's sticker or no sticker at all, they're good till July 1st. So he's not forcing anybody to buy a day pass until July 1st. Which I did explain will lose out on 3 or 4 days of day pass revenue.
Yeah, and we'll be paying
missing
gate
a
guards
week.
those days, right?
That's a
Yep.
weekend.
Yeah.
We already committed to the gate guard, so the gates are gonna be there to,
Yeah,
you know,
to
do their job, but they're not gonna be
wave
selling.
at people.
And spread the word that if people want to buy their sticker, we'll have like maybe a handout that says this is how you buy online.
So we're missing out on a weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the first weekend, because school's out the 18th.
And
I
it's
was
not
just gonna
usually
ask that, that's
huge
crazy.
numbers, cause a lot of people have their old stickers, but it's still,
Yeah,
you know,
it's a good
several
amount.
$1,000s, yeah.
I actually have a question. With the online sales,
Yep,
people generally come down Saturday to Saturday. They're not gonna get it by mail, clearly.
yep.
Where are they supposed to be going to pick it up? Because I feel like
No.
that's gonna be just a
I'm not sure
line.
what the, I'm not
here.
sure what
It's,
the,
you have
And
two
what
options.
if you're not
Yeah.
computer literate? Okay, some people.
Well,
Well, I
that's-
think the sticker thing isn't
Don't
on
talk
us,
to me like, don't
but
call me like
I
that.
feel like that's gonna come here, cause
Oh,
we're
yeah, it
beaches.
definitely is.
You're gonna have a line of vacationers being like, I paid online, where's my sticker?
yeah.
From what I read, it's either you get them emailed to you or or they get mailed to you. There will be no in-person picking up, period.
So every cottage is gonna have a printer?
That's how I read it, unless John has different info.
I spoke with Crystal directly on the phone, and when you go to pay online, you have the option to pick it up in person at Town Hall. Of course, that would only be when they're open.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't apply to the weekends, which we'd agree would be a big hit. But they do
Yeah.
have the option. She did explain to me that people have the option when they go to pay online that they can do it either by mail or go pick it up in person.
See, I just feel like we're
Okay,
gonna have
so
an
that's good. That's
influx.
different than I
Yeah.
read.
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna have an influx of people at the beach. I just paid online to our
Yeah.
poor gate guards. And then our gate guards are like,
our concern as
I
well.
don't know. And then if they said they're trying to alleviate the crowds at town hall, this feels like they're just bringing them in for a different reason to
Yep.
pick it up instead. I
But
guess
it's
my
not our
concern
battle
with
to
it is,
fight.
well, I feel like actually kind of is because these are issues that are going to come back to the rec because we're the beaches.
Yeah.
I don't think Eric made the
So-
decision as
No,
well.
no,
No,
no. I'm
no,
saying
yeah.
like,
No,
what is
but what I'm
the
getting at, I
What's
don't.
Yeah.
the impact?
what's the
Oh,
impact?
there's no doubt there's
and
impact, but it doesn't
What is
sound
the
like
what
that.
is the plan?
Yes.
Same thing
Like
with
when we
dumpsters.
have 30
Yep,
people here
dump
on a
sticker's not
Saturday,
as big
nobody
of
at
an
the
issue
office.
though, because once you
I know.
buy your dump
I
sticker
know. I'm
online,
trying to make it
then
known.
it's a license plate
There's an
reader there,
impact.
so they don't need
No
an
one is
actual
getting the
sticker.
stickers watching the show.
No.
Meaning,
They just
Sure.
want
The
your
ones
money.
that made this policy might be.
You have the
It's
check.
gonna be interesting.
yeah,
First-
it'll be,
first
it's
couple
gonna be a learning
weekends.
curve. And then the other, while we're on that topic, and the schools are out the 18th.
Yep.
Are they?
Yes.
One second. The stickers, are those handwritten, the numbers on them?
Yes, the marker, like
Oh, yeah.
the treasurer department, it's not typed in.
So could
it's-
the guards have a stack? The beach guards have a stack, and if you show your receipt, you get your sticker.
No.
That gets
I don't know if they'd
Could
allow
they?
that.
because you have to do it through
I don't think you
registration.
wanna put up.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Teenager too, never mind.
yeah.
That's exactly what
That
I'm
would be a
thinking.
line.
Just like, take
Yeah.
a 20, here's a patch, take a 20.
Be a lot more
No, I mean,
Seriously,
like,
yeah,
you
that-
buy online,
yeah.
you show your, here's my receipt.
That
Okay,
is
you
a
wanna
lot.
keep going on the
Right.
report, Eric? I'll ask my question
So
next
the only,
year.
I mean, if there's questions on the other stuff, the only other thing that came up, unfortunately, one of our old beach supervisors, her name was Carrie Brophy. She was one of my first beach supervisors. She passed away. She had cancer. She was local. She was from off Cape, but she's always had a house here. Great employee for the rec. She was 39, maybe 40. But I've met with her father a couple times, and he wondered if they could put a little plaque on the side of one of the Earl Road lifeguard stands. I said, draw something up for me of what you're thinking. And this is what he came up with. I can pass it around. I didn't have time to make copies, but it just says, in loving memory of Carrie Brophy Karst, 1985 to 2025, head lifeguard and beach supervisor, 01 to 06, always watching over Earl Road Beach.
Nice touch.
They'd pay
Yep.
for it. They're going to pay for it. You know, I don't know.
You need a motion?
I don't know. I don't think so. I just wanted to let you guys know.
It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like they're doing a bench or a.
Yeah.
No, I
So if there's
absolutely-
anybody that deserves it, it would be her, so.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And then whatever,
Are you done? You did the director's report?
no, I was just gonna say, if anybody has questions on the things that are there, go for it.
Senior softball retro.
Yep.
Give us the latest of the latest.
So the latest on that is that I met with Jim Gunning, before I left, and he asked me about an update on the bathroom. I did just, I told him about the issues with running electric down there. It's much more cost than we thought, that we're looking into solar options, but that could go either way. He said that most people in the league don't think we need it anyway. So, which was news to me, because, and then he had said, we're not pulling the 20 grand, but it sounded a little iffy. And in the meantime, since then, I've heard rumors that they are pulling the 20 grand. What's it?
Nothing in writing.
Nothing in writing, no. But I reached out to him again to get something in writing back. I haven't heard back yet.
It should be in the minutes, okay?
The minutes of a senior softball.
The board minutes.
Okay.
Okay, but when somebody told me at the field when we were doing the evaluations,
Yep.
that they pulled the 20 grand, they waived the 20 grand.
And then that would just,
Now
to
they
me,
can't-
that'd be the end of the project.
Till we see that in writing from them,
Yeah,
that they're
okay.
officially pulling it out of
Follow
we
up
should
again.
be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, get something right.
It's more than rumor, but it's not official.
Yeah, gotcha.
Anything else on the director's report? Leah, Van?
Yes, I just have a quick summer stuff.
Yep.
And if I'm wrong, last month, did we discuss that email that you had sent out regarding the lifeguard prices? Did we discuss? I remember we discussed it, but did we discuss the differences? Or was that? when
We
did
had
you send
talked
that?
about how,
After the meeting, so we haven't, okay. I will say I was definitely dismayed by how low we are. Not that that's anybody's
on
at
pay
the
rates,
table.
you mean?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We are at the very bottom
Oh, yeah.
of all of the other towns.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's something that,
And
I know you brought it up and it was asked, it said, no, we're not raising it all.
No enhancements.
But I don't know if, because I see here, it says you're still looking to hire 4 to 6 more
Well,
lifeguards?
We're actually in pretty good shape right now.
Oh, okay.
But what
I was
we're
just
doing
reading
too,
right
and I can't remember if I said it last meeting or not, we're not getting the bump up in the
Right.
scale, but what we're doing is every returning lifeguard, whether it's their second year
It's right
back or their 10th year back, are gonna
We're
be at the
looking
top
to
step.
hire 4 to 6 more.
Okay.
We're gonna put
Right,
them, and
okay.
any new lifeguard is gonna be at the third, so there's 5 steps. New lifeguards, third step.
Yep.
Anybody returning, top step.
So
Right.
the step, they're increasing the steps.
Which isn't great, but it's like trying to
Yeah.
do what we can within the.
Staff was
that's-
very appreciative.
Yeah, no, of course, and that's what I was just wondering if there was that's a great incentive piece, and I
It
just.
helps.
It
yeah.
helps.
But
and
we still have
yeah.
to shoot for that bigger goal.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So this looking to hire 4 to 6 more is not
That
anymore?
was, yeah, since then, while I was on vacation, I think we had from HR 5 or 6
Oh,
applications
okay,
emailed to
perfect.
us.
Yeah,
All
we
right,
have
perfect.
we have 33 committed so far. We had 32 last year, so yeah, we'll be able to staff all the beaches
Okay,
as
that's
we have.
perfect.
And the range is like 27 to 36. is
Okay.
Where we wanna be,
Perfect.
minimum
All right.
to maximum,
So then that was enough incentive, great.
Van?
for now.
The item you have in the director's report about the cobblestone, of the stones for the pickleball.
The pavement,
Whether it was $11,000, we didn't take any action on that, did we?
not yet,
So
no.
Oh, I met with the pickleball board. They asked we look into asphalt or pavement to do the whole thing. Sean Libby said that would be a cheaper option as well.
What about
But as far as drainage, yeah, that would obviously
put blacktop, there's no place for that water to go,
Yeah,
but on the court or on the court.
yeah,
That's my concern.
right.
And then they're gonna be complaining that it's wet.
Yeah, well, Tom Bryant told me he wasn't worried about that because that's the end all decision there. But but he said that if the courts are wet, people aren't going to play on them. But I was kind of like, yeah, we need to look into drainage.
There's a reason they left a strip in the middle of those two facilities, in my opinion.
Yeah, the paver quote takes us from where the shade structure currently goes to the actually the first picnic table outside of the shade structure. So that would be the ground that gets covered with that. Although there are some concerns with if the paving company told me they would have to remove the poles and then put them back in. There'd just be some issues that they'd have to put them in exactly the exact distance that they are from each other currently, or else the rooftop pieces won't fit back in correctly.
So the bottom line is they want it all done, not just part of it. You just
They
said-
look into that, yes, yeah. But as far as getting it done for this season, moving forward with the pavers would be the biggest thing.
Yeah, yes, Frank?
Yeah, I had a question, as other people did, John, on the pavers, and I talked to you about the pavers, and you said, I think you had pavers at your house. The worry was, are they gonna heave all over the place in the winter, and I guess.
Not if they're put in right.
Yeah, and doing it under, the whatever number of feet, probably would be fine and put, maybe, artificial grass in the rest of the part that's dirt, that would be fine, I would think.
What do you mean, Frank?
Well, putting the pavers, I think John said 38 feet or something like that.
Yeah, where the artificial turf is now.
Yep.
So it'd almost like be the middle.
Yep.
And then it'd be an area on each end that doesn't have it.
Yeah, the area on each end, maybe some of that artificial grass or something would be fine. You'd get drainage there and everything. I think we did look into artificial grass. I think it was 5,000 something for the
Yeah,
whole
but that
thing.
was just a rollout piece of garbage.
Yeah,
turf.
so I think in the middle there, the pavers for now would be fine. That was just my opinion anyway.
But personally, I'm not willing to spend 11 grand to be fine.
And not for now either.
It's not I'll roll down the green carpet for now, or it'll be fine, but I think we need to, I think we need to think this through totally, and I don't think we've done that. We've got options, but we need to find out. I'm very concerned with drainage.
I can have somebody from Highway come in next meeting and talk about it with us.
Yep.
Yeah. No, because that makes sense, because if the courts are wet, nobody's gonna be there.
And I don't buy that they're not gonna play when they're wet, because I've seen them shovel
Yeah,
those courts.
they got blowers and they got everything to take water.
So that was still director's report. Van, you're all set. David, anything on directors? Brian?
All set.
Frank?
I'm also, I just want to say something at the end, a little comment.
Okay. We're gonna jump back up to minutes from February 25th. Thank you, Vaughn, for reminding me.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
February 25th minutes are approved. March 25th minutes.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. Director's report, property maintenance report, Eric.
We talked about a lot of the maintenance things already, so if you have any
Yep.
questions, please.
Anything for Eric on the property maintenance report? David? No. Brian? Frank?
I'm all set.
Budget report.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
14 pages.
Yeah,
this
it's
one.
really, the bottom line is revolving fund balance is 132,000, which is a big number, but don't get too nervous about the big number, because we do have to pay a camp staff for the whole summer.
That's about normal for
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
For this
I mean,
time.
we're a little higher just because we have a lot of programs going
Yeah,
on.
that's
so,
great. Yeah.
So, but yeah, we're right where we should be.
Good.
The rise and fall.
Showing success.
Budget report, I've already jumped my thing around. Liaison, CPC, David.
I'd just like to request the department's supervisor be at town meeting to defend
I would,
their projects.
I wouldn't rather be anywhere else.
I'm sure. And as far as,
Depends upon the Celtics, right there.
Yeah. Let's be reasonable here.
and it's gonna be interesting to see what happens this town meeting. The audit went fine, the final numbers haven't been, put out to the general public yet. And I don't know what the hangup is, but the realignment of the monies within the buckets need to take place. And that should be in the public venue, So it's gonna be up to the Board of Selectmen to justify what they need to do, how they're gonna do it, and et cetera. I am passing that information on, so we all understand. And that's about it.
Okay,
Other
when-
than my request to Leah.
When you're putting, oh, Frank, you had something you wanted to bring up under, yep, go ahead.
No, just under open session at the end, I just wanted to comment on something.
That's why I said it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you got a tough job right now. You probably know that the Pickleball Community Board gives scholarships, and we're giving a scholarship to Monomoy graduate. And the tough job is, I'd say, my God, how can these kids do so much? I'd say one thing, the school's putting out some pretty good kids. And I'm reading, and I keep changing my mind.
Oh, yeah, not easy to decide on those.
It's not easy because they're all great-looking kids.
Okay,
And they do a lot of community stuff with kids.
I don't know where these kids find time to do it, but.
I know it. I can't believe it.
That it, Frank?
That's it.
Okay. Eric, if you could put on next month's agenda.
Yep.
The rec commission charge. I'm not gonna get into that tonight. It's too late.
Okay.
Do you want to be here till 8 o'clock?
No, ma'am.
And then I'll also see if somebody from Highway can come and talk about the pickleball area.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who else would talk to
Could
for
have
options.
Brian come in.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean even if I'd be willing to meet them if you wanted to go.
Yeah,
whatever,
that's true.
And just get some options. I mean.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I got prices on, like you said, the turf stuff. John's gotten the pavers. I feel like there's something else.
I don't have any problem with the turf if it was done right.
Yeah.
Because what's over there now?
Yeah, that's just cheap.
It's just rolled out. They brought it at
Yeah.
Ocean State, but it served the purpose.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna do it
Temporary.
right and spend some
There
money,
every day.
yes.
No, and then next month, Eric will be able to see the cost analysis for irrigation and turf.
See the cost. Oh, yeah, for
For the
turf.
fi-
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
can see what I can find out. Yep.
Okay.
Turf versus irrigation.
Good.
It's gonna be a lot.
I can't wait to see those numbers. Just
Gonna be good.
for an education.
Can't hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say one thing too?
Van, you all set?
I'm good.
David?
Also,
Brian?
Great job creating excitement for all the kids' programs. Everyone's very excited about the coffee truck. From what I hear around town.
Oh, okay, all right, very good.
Everyone's very excited about that, so great job creating the excitement, and I think we're seeing enrollment start to spike because of that, so good job.
Anything else?
I think the only other comment I wanna make is that I doubt, and I'm not certain about this, but the senior softball group, was thinking about building a field up in back of Potter Memorial. They're now putting all their energy and money into, Wixon over at Dennis.
Yep.
And taking over that, project over there. They're working with Little League, and I guess, that they're sharing their
Costs.
funding. Yeah.
Okay.
So that land is available for your turf bubble, there you
Turf bubble.
Anything
flat
else?
go. Move to adjourn.
Next is May 28th.
All those in favor?
Aye.
No shellfish.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
I might see a minute or two, Van. It's already after 7.
They play at 8:30.
8:30.
I know that. That's
Oh,
why I
yeah,
said I might
yeah.
be awake. That's still keeping
8:30.
me around.
Oh, yeah.
Too late for me. I'll
How's
see
that?
what happens
Yeah,
tomorrow.
how's your baby?
She's she's doing
She's
wonderful.
beautiful.
We'll be back.
She had
We'll be back.
breakfast
Keep
the
on
other
the
day.
fence.
She what?
She
Outside
had
the
breakfast
dumpster,
the
'cause I
other day
can't-
with
you can't
Mr.
drive on.
McCann.